Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet.
Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, while you can't say that My Favorite Husband was the direct parent of I Love Lucy, at the very least, it's an illegitimate stepfather, because much of the writing staff of My Favorite Husband accompanied Lucille-Ball to the production of the I Love Lucy television show. And so you'll hear Liz Cooper sounding a lot like Lucy McGillicuddy in My Favorite Husband's step-off, or if you will, I Love Lucy. This episode of My Favorite Husband originally broadcast December 30th, 1950. And tell me if this doesn't sound like something Lucy would do on the TV show.
It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball.
Jello, everybody.
Yes, it's the Gay Family series starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning. Transcribed and brought to you by the Jello family of Red Letter Desserts.
Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jello family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jello family. That's Jello.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jello puddings, yum, yum, yum. Jello tapioca puddings, yes, sirree.
And now Lucille Ball with Richard Denning as Liz and George Cooper, two people who live together and like it. And now let's look in on the Coopers. It's evening and Liz and George are sitting in the living room admiring their Christmas tree.
George, you know, I think this is the prettiest Christmas tree we ever had.
Yeah, it's a nice one, all right. But I was wondering if we shouldn't take it down tonight.
Take it down? George, it isn't even New Year's.
Oh, but Liz, look at it. The needles are falling off, the branches are drooping. Oh, it looks pretty sad.
Well, you'd look pretty sad, too, if you had your trunk stuck in a bucket for 3 weeks.
Well, the least we can do is put away our presents from under the tree.
Okay. Gee, wasn't it a wonderful Christmas, George? I got every single thing I wanted.
So did I, honey.
You know, now that it's all over, I want to tell you about something I almost bought for you, but it was too expensive.
Oh? What was that?
A set of matched golf clubs.
Hey, really?
Yeah.
Well, Liz, I appreciate the thought, but that would have meant a lot of money.
Well, that's what I thought. And I just said to myself, after all, it isn't the gift, it's the thought behind it that counts.
Well, that's true, dear.
I knew you'd understand.
As long as we're having postmortems, there's something I almost bought for you, but didn't because it was too expensive.
Oh, what was it?
A mink jacket.
A mink jacket?
Yeah. I saw it in the window at Miller's, and it would have looked so great on you.
A mink jacket?
But it cost so much money, I really couldn't afford it, so I just decided like you did. It isn't the gift, it's the thought behind it that counts.
Since when?
I knew you'd understand.
All my life I've wanted a mink jacket, and I've never had one. I've never had a fur coat at all, not even a rabbit-dyed imitation skunk.
Well, honey, I didn't know it meant that much to you, but, well, it's too late now.
No, it isn't. Look, George, take all my other presents back. I don't care if I have another thing, if I can just have a mink jacket.
No, that still wouldn't be enough money.
Even if we took your presents back, too?
No.
But, George, that little jacket is just exactly what I need to wear to the Atterbury's New Year's Eve party.
Well, I'm sorry, honey.
Well, actually, I need it, George. I don't have a thing to wear.
Well, then it's simple. You can go as the New Year.
Oh, you...
What's the matter, Mrs. Cooper? You've been moping.
I didn't get a mink jacket for Christmas.
Oh? Well, if it'll make you feel any better, I didn't get one either.
You don't understand. George almost bought me one, but he decided it was too expensive. Oh, it's terrible to have been so close. I can almost feel it.
Well, maybe he'll give you one next year.
Maybe, only I wanted it to wear to the Atterbury's New Year's party. Darn it. Now that George has the idea of getting me a coat, I certainly hate to see it slip away.
It's a shame, all right.
Katie, you've watched me get things out of George for a long time. What method would work best?
Well, crying is always effective.
No, that's only good for traffic tickets, overdrawn bank accounts, and crumpled fenders. I've done a lot of research on that.
How about smooching?
I get so carried away with the smooching, I forget what I'm after. Oh, I guess I'm dead. Wouldn't that make you sick?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I just said it. That's what I'll be.
Dead?
No, sick. George always buys me what I want when I'm sick. When my temperature goes up, his resistance goes down.
It certainly does.
I guess I'll have to come down with Liz Cooperitis.
Oh?
Now, no matter what I do, Katie, don't be frightened.
Do you think you really should go through with that?
Yes. I know it's being mean, but all's fair in love and mink.
Oh, gee, that was a good dinner, honey.
Oh, it certainly was.
What would you like to do tonight?
Oh, I don't care. Want to go to a movie? Harvey with James Stewart is playing at the Strand.
Sounds good. Is there another feature?
Yeah. The second picture's called...
Who's in it? Liz, are you sick?
If I weren't, would I be groaning like this?
What's the matter?
Oh, I don't know. I just had a strange pain. Ah!
Gee, honey, I wonder what caused it.
I don't know. I was just sitting here when suddenly... Ah! There it is again.
Oh, Liz, come on, let me help you.
Ah!
Oh, here, stretch out on the couch.
Yeah, I guess I better.
Oh, what seems to be the trouble?
Well, it's...
Where does it hurt?
Well, it was in my left foot at first. Then it was my right knee. And just a minute ago, it was in my head.
Oh, my goodness, is there anything I can do, honey?
Oh, no. I remember now. I used to have these attacks when I was a child.
Oh?
Yeah, I'll go up to bed and suffer in silence.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Doesn't anything help?
No. Well, there might be something. I remember the doctor said to give me little presents, and, anything I wanted, just to make me happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I'm beginning to understand your disease a little better.
Well, that's good.
And I know just what I should get for you.
You do?
Yes, excuse me, I want to make a phone call.
Oh, fine, dear. Now, don't worry about me. I'll be all right.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Katie, would you go in and stay with Mrs. Cooper while I make a phone call? She's ill.
Yes, of course, Mr. Cooper. Oh, you poor thing. What seems to be the trouble? Never mind, Mrs. Cooper. He can't hear you now.
Are you sure?
Yes. Did it work?
Katie, I can't believe it. It worked better than my wildest dreams. He's gone to make a phone call, and I think it's about the coat.
Really?
Oh, here he comes again. Oh.
Well, Liz, I think you're going to feel a lot better pretty soon.
Oh, you do? What's going to happen?
I called the doctor, and he'll be right out.
Lucille Ball, Richard Denning, My Favorite Husband, December 30th, 1950, on Classic Radio Theater. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. If you listen to this carefully, you hear I Love Lucy all over the place. That's not just because Lucille Ball is playing Liz Cooper in this show. It's because the three writers, Bob Carroll Jr., Madeline Pugh, Jess Oppenheimer, those three people were brought over to do I Love Lucy. And they created virtually the same character, irrespective of what Isabel Scott Rorick did when she originally made the show. Could you imagine Gail Gordon and Bea Benadera as the Mertzes? That would have been crazy. December 30th, 1950, My Favorite Husband on Classic Radio Theater.
As we look in on the Coopers once again, Liz is pretending to be sick, and George, who is worried about her, has called the doctor.
Oh, hello, Dr. Stevenson. Come on in.
You sounded so mysterious on the phone, George. What's the matter with Liz?
Well, I'm not sure. I think she has a rare disease, the only cure for which is a mink coat.
Oh, I get it.
Well, this is the second time she's pulled this. The last time it was the flu. But I wanted a television set anyway.
I see. What do you want me to do?
Give her a good scare. Then maybe she'll quit doing this.
Leave it to me, George. I think I know how to handle this.
Good. Come on, she's in the bedroom. Liz, the doctor's here.
Oh, hello, Dr. Stevenson. I'm sorry George bothered you just to come and see me.
Now, Liz, don't you worry about that. When you're sick, that's when you need your doctor.
Well, but that's just it. I was feeling bad a little while ago, Doctor. But the funniest thing, as soon as he called you, I felt better.
Now, let's not be hasty.
Oh, no, really, I feel fine. I think I'll get up and get dressed.
You know, don't move. Stay there in bed.
What do you mean?
You're a sick girl, Liz.
I am?
Your eyes, your color. Let me see your tongue.
Well, all right. What? What? What is it?
George, I wish you'd called me sooner. It may be too late.
Too late?
George, I'd better speak to you out in the hall.
Very well, Doctor.
No, is something really wrong with me? Tell me, I can take it.
Frankly, Liz, it looks to me like you have a severe case of the Flimjabs.
The Flimjabs?
Yes, it's a rare tropical disease from the West Indies.
Oh.
Gee, Liz, this is awful.
Well, how serious is it, Doctor?
Well, I might as well be honest with you. If it gets any worse, we may have to operate.
Operate?
Yes. We'll have to go in and take out your torkel.
My torkel? No, there's nothing wrong with my torkel.
Now, there's no use getting alarmed. A lot of people live for years without a torkel.
They do? Well, is it painful?
No. We anesthetize thoroughly for a torkelectomy. Of course, you'll never be able to yammle again.
I won't.
Well, tell me, Doctor, will you have to remove the whole torkel?
Well, maybe we'll be lucky and can save half of it. After all, half a torkel is better than none.
Well, I should say so. I hate to think of never yammeling again. What's yammeling?
It's an involuntary peristalsis of the transverse clavis.
Oh.
Well, tell me, Doctor, is there anything we can do for her?
All we can do is wait. The crisis should be passed in 24 hours. Just wait and hope she doesn't turn green.
Green?
Yes, that's the real danger sign.
Well, what happens then?
If you turn green, 3 hours later, gone.
Gone?
Gone.
Oh, my poor Liz. Oh, come on now, honey. Let's be my big, brave girl.
I am being brave.
Well, I've got to be going along.
I'll see you to the door, Doctor.
And now, Liz,
Yes.
you stay in bed and drink lots of water and fruit juice.
All right.
And I'll see you tomorrow at this same time. I hope.
Mrs. Cooper, are you awake? Mrs. Atterbury's here to see you.
Liz, girl, how are you?
Hello, Iris.
Just ring if you want me.
George told me about you, girl. I'm on my way to the bridge club, and I thought I'd drop by and see you.
Well, thank you, Iris. It was good of you to take the time.
Well, after all, girl, I'm your best friend. And anyway, I had to find out what you had so I could make a full report to the girls.
Well, you might as well know, Iris. I've got the Flimjabs.
The Flimjabs? What's that?
It's a rare tropical disease.
Oh, how exciting! Oh, this will make Betty Ricky's gallstones look sick. Well, she'll be absolutely green.
She's not the only one.
What?
That's one of the danger signs. I may turn green.
She lives. With a green face and your red hair, you'll be out of this world.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Iris, if I turn green, 3 hours later, gone.
Gone?
Gone.
You mean gone as in to your reward?
That's right.
But Liz, I can't believe it. How did you catch this flim-flam or whatever it is anyway?
Who knows? I was only pretending at first. George didn't want to buy me a mink coat, and I wanted one so badly to wear to your party that I acted like...
Oh, no. Not that stale sympathy routine.
Yes. I pretended to be sick, and the next thing I knew, I had the Flimjabs. Don't mind me, Iris. I'll be all right. You go on to your bridge party.
Oh, I wouldn't go and leave you, girl, but I can't help it. I've got the ice cream out in the car and it's melting.
I understand.
Hello, George.
Hi, Doctor. Come on in.
How's our little patient? Is she all over the Flimjabs?
Not exactly. She just turned green.
What? That's impossible. There is no such thing as Flimjabs.
No, but there is such a thing as a green light bulb.
Oh, you didn't?
Yes, I did. She's taking a nap. As soon as she fell asleep, I put a green bulb in the light in her room. Come on, let's go wake her up. Liz, the doctor's here.
Give me that. That's my Torkel.
She's still asleep. Liz, wake up. The doctor's here.
What? Oh, gee, it's dark. Turn on the light, George.
All right.
Well, Liz, how are you feeling?
Oh, just fine, Doctor. I guess I've come through the 24-hour crisis without turning...
December 30th, 1950, My Favorite Husband on Classic Radio Theater. Mike Lindell, the inventor and CEO of MyPillow, wants to give back to listeners. You can get great discounts on all MyPillow products if you go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special. Deep discounts on all MyPillow products, like the buy one, get one free special on Giza Dream Sheets. All MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty. Call 1-800-951-8175 or go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener special. Use my promo code USA.
Here's a great thing to consider doing right now before the end of the year. Call MediShare and find out just how much you would save by switching to MediShare, the affordable alternative to health insurance. When you call, you'll get some good news and probably be very happily surprised, too. The typical family saves $500 a month, but you might save even more. It's so worth it to at least find out. And you'll see why more than 400,000 people are already members. MediShare is a Christian community that's shared more than $4 billion in each other's healthcare costs. It really is remarkable, and they're very easy to talk to. And here's the thing. If you join before the end of the year, they'll waive your new member fee. That's another $170 you'll save. I'll give you the number here in a second. The call, and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 31st, so call now. You'll save even more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Classic Radio Theater on your favorite station. Now the conclusion of My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball, Richard Denning, Frank Nelson having quite the role in this, wouldn't you say? This as the Doctor, December 30th, 1950.
What's the matter?
Look at my hands. They're green.
You're right. They are. And your face, too.
My face. Hand me a mirror, George.
Oh, here you are, my poor green darling.
Oh, my face and my hair. Wait a minute. You have the Flimjabs, too.
What do you mean?
You're both green.
Us? Doctor, do I look green to you? No. But you're not green to me either.
Oh, no. This is the end. I'm looking at the world through green-colored eyeballs.
Look, honey.
Oh, George, I'm going. This is it. I know it. Farewell, my love. Oh, goodbye.
Now, Liz, don't get so upset.
I'm sorry, dear. It's just that I don't die every day, and it's new to me.
Look, Liz, maybe we can still save you.
No, a person knows these things. I can feel it in my bones. Green bones, that is.
Liz, I have a confession to make.
So have I, George.
Well, but let me tell you mine first.
Well, no, George, let me. I won't be here as long as you will.
Well, all right.
George, from time to time, I've smashed things on our car. Here a hood, there a fender, now a running board, and occasionally a trunk. And I had them fixed and didn't tell you about it.
Yes, Liz?
In fact, the only thing left of the original car you bought is the ashtray in the back seat.
That's very interesting. Have you anything more to confess?
Yes. Last night when I said I was sick, I was only pretending so you'd get me a mink coat.
Liz, how could you?
Isn't that awful?
Aren't you ashamed?
Oh, yes, I am, George. I wish I was dead. Oh, no.
Honey, let me tell you my confession.
Go ahead, George. You wonderful husband, you.
Now, honey. You don't have the Flimjabs. It's a trick the doctor and I played on you because I knew you were trying to get a mink coat.
Why, you big stinker! Wait a minute. I'm still green.
I put a green light in the lamp.
George Cooper, you just wait till I get well and... Oh, I forgot I haven't been sick. I'll get it. Hello.
Is that you, Liz, girl?
Iris, are you crying?
I can't help it, girl. The whole bridge club's been bawling ever since I told them you were going to leave us tonight.
Oh, Iris, I'm going to be here a while longer.
Well, that's it, Liz. Be brave. Hang on to every precious minute.
Oh, Iris, don't cry. I'm going to be all right.
Will you just keep saying that, Liz? We girls just had a little ceremony in your memory.
Memory? But Iris,
We turned your chair to the wall and smashed your cheek up in the fireplace.
Well, that's very sweet, Iris, but listen to me now.
Don't talk. Save your strength. Elizabeth Cooper, the whole club joins me in this tribute to you, our soon-to-be former member. Listen closely. There.
What was that?
10 seconds of silence.
Well, coming from that Gabby Bridge Club, that's a real tribute.
That's the way. I'll tell them you went with a joke on your lips.
Look, Iris.
Please let me finish. I may break down entirely. We took the whole treasury and bought you a goodbye present.
Now, Iris, listen to... What was it?
A mink coat.
A mink coat?
Yes, girl. We figured if you've got to go, we wanted you to go in style. I know how you must feel, girl. Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
What's the matter, Liz?
The girls in the club are giving me a mink coat.
Well, honey, isn't that what you wanted?
Yeah, but I have to die to get
You have been listening to My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning, and based on characters created by Isabel Scott Rorick. Tonight's transcribed program was produced and directed by Jess Oppenheimer, who wrote the script with Madeline Pugh and Bob Carroll Jr. Original music was composed by Marlon Skiles and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The part of Katie, the maid, was played by Ruth Parrott.
Doesn't that just sound like it? I've been telling you. December 30th, 1950, My Favorite Husband on Classic Radio Theater. Well, let's head to 79 Wistful Vista and see what's going on in the McGee household, as it seems Fibber is trying to work up his old vaudeville act for the New Year's Eve show at the Elks. Yeah. From December 30th, 1953, Fibber McGee and Molly.
The Fibber McGee and Molly Show. Every weekday at this time, NBC brings you Fibber, McGee, and Molly transcribed. The show is written by Phil Leslie and Ralph Goodman and directed by Max Hutto. We'll join Fibber and Molly in just a moment. Any of you folks take stock in that old expression that no news is good news? I don't think there are many people who do. No news is definitely not good news, especially for anyone who's ever been away from home. There are some people who have been suddenly called away from home and loved ones at one time or another, and those people know from experience that there's nothing quite as important during those days of separation as mail. Any man or woman in the armed services will tell you the only call that takes precedence over mess call is mail call. And believe me, when a letter from home is more important to a hungry GI than food, you know that it means something. The action, the strain, the anxieties of war can keep a soldier's mind occupied, but when the letdown comes, the time to relax, that's when morale needs a shot in the arm. Keep those letters going. Those men and women in the service don't believe that no news is good news. When the Wistful Vista Elks Club throws its big New Year's Eve show Thursday night, one of the star attractions will be Mr. McGee of 79 Wistful Vista in a revival of his famous, he claims, old vaudeville act. But like all great artists, he's having his troubles right now.
And I tried Kramer at the drugstore and even old man McDonald at the Third National Bank, Molly. Gee whiz, kiddo, I don't know what to do.
You still haven't found anybody brave enough to stand up on that stage with you and ask you who was that lady I seen you with last night, huh?
No. I explained to him how it don't hurt him when I hit him over the head with this old felt hat so the joke gets a laugh. I even showed him.
You showed them that, did you?
Yeah, and that's when they all say they're too busy or they're going to be out of town or something.
Well, don't you worry, dear. You'll find somebody. Say, did you try more tubes?
More tubes? You think I'd do a class vaudeville act like I used to do with Fred Nittany? The guy that him and me used to do a vaudeville act together and got rave notices everywhere we played that if I hadn't lost my scrapbook, I'd show him to you with a no-talent, second-rate moron like more tubes.
He said no, too, huh?
Yeah, doggone it. I got to have a straight man, Molly. I can't do this act alone. It's not that kind of act.
I know.
Takes two people to tell them jokes, you know. Like I showed you some samples of yesterday.
Yes, I remember. One fella says, what kind of vegetables do you grow in a beer garden? And the other fella says, stewed tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm not going to use that one. Everybody seems to know the answer before I finish the question. I'm putting in number 63 instead.
63? You mean you have your jokes numbered?
Oh, sure. We kept all our jokes numbered so we could find one in a hurry. Like in case one joke didn't go over good, I'd slap on a sailor hat and sing Anchors Away while Fred ran back in the dressing room and look up another one.
Oh, you thought of everything, didn't you? Look, dearie, I've got to run over to Monica Miller's and return her roaster. So if you're going to be around...
Hey, wait, before you go, let me read you a couple of these gags. Here, look. Here's one Fred and I used to open the act with. We'd come out in cowboy hats and I'd say to Fred, "Hi, dude, I hear you just got married." And he'd say, "That's right, Tex, but don't call me dude anymore." And I'd say, "Why not?" And he'd say, "'Cause I'm subdued now."
Oh, my. Very funny, dearie. Well, I'll see you later. Monica's waiting for me.
Yeah. If you thought that was funny, listen to this.
But, dearie...
This one will murder you. Listen. Why is a mother-in-law...
Saved by the bell. I'm going out the back way, dearie. You see who it is. Be back in an hour. Bye.
But, boy, she sure was in a hurry. Well, come in.
It's me, Mr. McGee.
Oh, hi, Wimp.
I dropped by to return the book I borrowed last week while I was staying with you.
Oh, well, I'm glad you did, Wimp. I've been looking all over town for you. I called your house 6 times this morning.
I know. I heard the phone ring.
Well, why didn't someone answer it?
Well, Sweetie Face couldn't because she was out. I overslept, and she was having her breakfast at the corner drugstore.
Well, what about you?
Oh, I was locked in the closet, Mr. McGee. My, your Christmas tree is lovely.
Yeah. Look, Wimp, you probably heard about how I'm going to do my old vaudeville act at the Elks Club New Year's Eve party tomorrow night. I guess everybody's talking about it.
Oh, indeed they are, Mr. McGee. But don't you care. You do it anyway. It's a free country.
Betcha.
Are you really going to juggle Indian clubs?
Sure.
While sitting on the floor?
Yep.
And play the piano at the same time with your nose?
Who said that?
Mr. Toops.
Ah, he's just sore because I wouldn't let him be in the act with me, that's all. You should have heard him beg and plead with me, Wimp. But I said, "I'm sorry, Mort. Get up off your knees, boy. You just ain't got what it takes."
My goodness.
To be a success in showbiz, Wimp, you gotta have charm, personality, and a certain savoir-faire. You know, brass.
No, I can imagine.
So that's why I've been waiting for you, my boy. You ever been in showbiz?
Me? Oh, why, goodness, no, I wouldn't know. Showbiz?
You got just the personality for my act, boy. All you need is the kind of expert coaching I can give you. We'll go out there tomorrow night and murder him.
My, that does sound exciting. What do I have to do?
All you gotta do is listen and do as you're told.
Oh, that's easy. I've been doing that all my married life.
Good. We'll go into rehearsal right now. I got all the props and everything right here. Molly will be back in an hour or so, and we can try out the act on her.
Ah, showbiz. I've always wanted
Now, look, here's your funny hat and your baggy pants. You run in there and put them on. I'll get the record player set, and we'll put the music on. Here comes Molly, Wimp. Get set.
Oh, I'm so nervous, Mr. McGee. I don't think I can...
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. She's at the door. Okay, let's go.
It's me, McGee. I tell you, dearie, I've never been in all my life. Heavenly days, what's going on?
Hello, Meyer.
Hello, Schultz.
I hear you have a new baby at your house. Has he come this day?
I guess so. He has all his clothes off.
Oh, no.
Okay, Wimp, the cowboy hat's now. I'm Tex and you're Slim. Well, I'll get my boxing gloves on. Now you start. I hear you got a jump.
Oh, I remember. Here you got a job, Tex.
Yep, working on a ranch, Slim.
Working on a ranch, eh? What you doing with the boxing gloves?
I'm a cow puncher.
Oh.
Well, Molly, what do you think?
I think he's good. Of course, those pants don't fit him very well.
Well, they're not supposed to fit. They're supposed to be baggy, for laughs.
Oh, but yours fit.
Well, I can let him out by tomorrow night. I guess I was a little thinner back in them days when me and old Fred played the Palace.
Oh, my. Did you and Mr. Nittany actually play the Palace Theater, Mr. McGee? It must have been a thrill.
I'll never forget it, Wimp. The place was jammed. Everybody in town was there. Them rickshaws were lined up for 3 blocks.
Rickshaws? In New York?
This was the Palace Theater in Hong Kong. Our agent, Charlie Hugo, forgot to read the fine print. We played on the same bill with Charlie Fu and his all-geisha orchestra.
Great band, real crazy.
You should have heard them gals play Dardanella. Something you'd never forget. Believe me, I've tried. Well, Wimp, you done pretty good with the jokes.
Oh, thank you, Mr. McGee. I've always wanted to be in showbiz.
Ah, yes, showbiz.
Now, the next thing, Wimp, every class act like mine has to have a little tap number in it. You know, like a little dancing to keep things moving.
Moving?
There's an old saying in vaudeville, Mr. Wimple, keep the show moving. That's because a moving target is harder to hit. If you told one of those jokes and just stood there...
No, that's not it at all, Molly.
It figures.
I took a correspondence course in how to be popular one time, and there was a little tap dancing in it. I don't
If you just know a few basic steps, boy, I can teach you. You get that record of Tea for Two out, will you, Molly? That's the tune I and Fred Nittany introduced, you know. And since then, every guy that's trying to prove he hasn't got 2 left feet does a tap routine to that number.
Here's the record, dearie. I'll put it on.
I'll pull the rug back for you, Mr. McGee.
Swell. Now watch this close, Wimp. I'll show you.
Now, you be careful, dearie. That was 20 years ago, you know.
I'm just warming up, kiddo. When I get going here, whoops!
Careful, Mr. McGee.
What's the Christmas tree?
Just slipped a little. Floor is slippery. You see, Wimp? And right along in here, we used to do a break. Pretty tricky.
That was pretty good.
That's just a sample of what I mean, Wimp. Right in there where I quit, I used to always do a break, you see? He's trying to teach that to amateur. Too tough.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, go ahead and try it now. You don't have to be as fancy as I was, just enough to give me an idea. Okay, Molly, play the record again.
I'll surely try hard. I'd love to join your act and be in showbiz.
Hey, that's pretty good, Wimp.
My, isn't he graceful?
I'm a little out of practice, but it's coming back to me now.
Oh, goodness, McGee, look at that.
Yeah.
Heavenly days on one foot.
Yeah, showing off, huh?
Just look at those spins. Why, he's fantastic.
Well, that gives me an idea what you can do, Wimp.
You were just wonderful, Mr. Wimple.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. McGee. Did I make it, Mr. McGee? May I be in your act?
Well, I'll think it over, Wimp. There's a lot of things to consider. Dancing ain't everything, of course. The jokes...
He told the jokes beautifully. I thought he was very funny.
Well, there's more to it than that, of course. A good act needs a good contrast.
Contrast?
Yeah, you know, I and Wimp, we're built a lot alike. Ought to have one fat guy and one skinny guy, maybe, like Abbott and Costello, for instance.
Oh, I'd love to be in it. Showbiz has always
Well,
been
I'll
my...
let you know, Wallace. I probably ought to give Doc Gamble a chance at it first, you know, to be fair. I'll let you know, though, Wimp. Yeah, I'll let you know. Don't call us, we'll call you. Of course, Doc can't dance and probably can't tell jokes, but with my talent, he'll make a good contrast, and with the right coach.
Did you talk to Dr. Gamble, McGee?
Just on the phone, Molly. He was real excited about it. I'm going over in the morning and show him the act.
That won't be a bit too soon to get yourself a partner. The show's tomorrow night, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you run on up to bed, Tootsie. I'm going to read through these jokes again.
All right. But now, if you wake me up in the middle of the night like you did last night with white as a chicken cross the road, this chicken is going to cross the road to Maple Toops's for the night.
I won't. Good night.
Good night, all.
NBC has brought you the Fibber McGee and Molly program, transcribed with Bill Thompson as Wallace Wimple. This is John Wald inviting you to be with us again tomorrow night for another visit with Fibber McGee and Molly.
December 30th, 1953, Fibber McGee and Molly on Classic Radio Theater. You can find Fibber McGee and Molly and My Favorite Husband, both available through our friend Ted at RadioMemories.com. Fully restored shows on CD, cassette, or flash drive. Just tell him we sent you by. He'll take good care of you. RadioMemories.com. A reminder, folks, to keep our website on your favorites list and check in every so often. That is classicradio.stream. If you're a Facebooker or a Twitterer, you can find our links there as well, so you can stay in touch with us through those social media sites for late-breaking news. Classicradio.stream is the site. You can also hear our shows on demand and learn more about classic radio collecting. Please thank this station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. And by all means, folks, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. All of our shows are available through iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, TuneIn, all podcast applications. Just search for Classic Radio Theater, USA Classic Radio Theater. Have yourself a great day, won't you please? I'm Wyatt Cox. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater on your favorite radio station.